Thank you so much for joining in, everyone. We've been talking about the state of the nation, majorly the tension between the executive and the legislative arms of government, the issues of immunity for lawmakers, the issues of alleged forgery of Senate rules, which has almost degenerated into talking about impeachment of the president. That's what we're talking about. And Senator Shehu Sani, Senator representing Kaduna Central, has been talking to us from our Abuja studio. And the spokesperson of Afeni Ferry, Mr. Yinka Odumakin, is here with me in the studio. Let's continue the conversation, shall we? Let me begin with, this time around, with Mr. Yinka Odumakin. When we wonder, where did it go wrong between these two arms of government at a point in time when we saw the president presented the 2016 budget, and it looked so much that everything was fine. At some point, we even see them feasted at the Aso Villa. But when they start talking about impeachment threats, it shows that that's perhaps the peak of the kind of sour relationship we can see between those two arms of government.
Well, first of all, let me say that my very good friend, Senator Shehu Sani, has said that for now, the whole question of impeachment is a rumor. So let's take it as a breaking rumor for now. But I think the issue that faces us is that we are playing 90% politics and 10% governance.
As we speak now.
As we speak now. If we are concentrating on governance, the issues of governance that are facing our people are hungry. Everywhere you go, you can see it on the face of the people. But it seems our leaders are not paying much attention to governance. It's politics we are playing. And unfortunately, the ruling party today in Nigeria, if you can call it that name, has not done well in this matter. Because what we are seeing playing out up to now between the legislature and the executive is still the question of the election in the two chambers of the National Assembly.
It has not been settled.
Settled up to now.
But with that kind of tension, we're not seeing it in the House of Reps as much.
Well, but even if we are not seeing the tension, if you have read the papers this week, you could see that the speaker was talking tough. And only yesterday, or day before yesterday, the way the speaker rushed through the motion on immunity is very clear that we are having this as a legislative response to what is perceived as harassment from the executive. And it's very clear.
Is there really an harassment from the executive? Mr. Odumakin, from the look of things.
That's the way they see it. But even if it's not harassment, I think the executive owes a duty at this point to lower the temperature. The temperature is too high. And we cannot have addressed good governance when this political temperature is too high.
You have worked with the current president. You were his spokesperson when he was running on the platform of the CPC at that time.
Yeah.
The president that you know, is it the same man right now? And could it be that kind of man that is not tolerant to issues of democratic values?
Well, I don't think it's much of the president. And if you have worked closely with this man, I think one thing that the president has, at times he has a tendency to sit back and allow actors to do their thing while he just watches them with what's going on. That could be good at times, but at the same time it's drawback. I think that there are certain interests who are playing on this to stoke the fire of the conflict we are seeing. We don't need this conflict.
So it may be true that when Senator Saraki issued a statement that there is government in the government of President Buhari. So there may be some major actors acting on behalf of the president that he doesn't even know about.
I may not want to go that far, but it's very clear that there may be elements whose agenda is not the same with the president in terms of moving the country forward, who are play politics. And no matter how dangerous it is, and no matter how destructive or disruptive it is to the running of the country.
All right, so there may be some element of truth in the government, yes. Senator Saraki talked about?
I think so.
Interesting. Well, let me quickly go to Senator Shehu Sani. With what we have seen on the ground, for example, the immunity clause that was brought up, the immunity debate brought up, how did you receive this? And for you, that you've been a rights activist before becoming a lawmaker, how does this come to you? Does it sound well to you that at this state and at this point in time, we're looking for immunity for principal officers? Is this like a fight against the executive?
Well, from the platform of the Senate, my first encounter with the issue of immunity came in during the last retreat on the constitutional amendment in Lagos. And senators from the committee and even some persons who are invited there expressed their opinion on the pros and cons of immunity. I happen to be one of those that was at that time opposed to that immunity. In fact, from my own point, is that apart from the president, no one should have immunity, because I see it as a license for people in a position of power to perpetrate crime and then get insured until they are out of office. And people who find themselves in a position of power are morally obliged to be people of high moral standing, and that they're supposed to be responsible. And the very fact that we have immunity, it gives them a break, it gives them the confidence and the insurance that at least they can do whatever they want to do against the law. At least there will be time for them to walk over it. So as for me, I think there should be no immunity apart from the president. And my position is not because President Buhari is the president. My belief is that from governors, deputy governors, and principal officers in the National Assembly should not have immunity. And for the very fact that if you know you don't have immunity, you'll be very careful in what you do. But the liberalization of this immunity certainly will add more problems than solve it.
All right, Senator Sani, one way again we think that all is not well with your party at this time, because some people will believe that the party is not taking as much leadership role that it should be taking in this kind of situation. For example, people will think that there is a clear show of face-off between the executive and the legislature. The Attorney General of the Federation has been summoned a few times. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation has been summoned. Some ministers in the cabinet of President Buhari has been summoned. What exactly is a grouse with the executive in the Alo chambers right now?
Well, just like my friend Yinka Odumakin said it clearly, the genesis of this chasm has to do with the election of the Senate president. And then it was an APC affair that now spreads to formally engages the National Assembly with the executive to a certain sense. And what has clearly made things worse was the very fact that invitations were sent to appointees of Mr. President, and then the comments that came in from pages of newspapers that we can't come, we are not going to honor all these things, now flared up the whole thing.
Senator Sani, just a moment.
I can
be kind enough to pause there, because we'll take a moment, and when we return, we'll be talking about solutions to all this matter. Governance is key. We'll be right back.